Hello, this is Paul Bo Brookins, and welcome back to How to Play Dwarf Fortress. In this episode, we're going to learn how to set up a hospital, but just a quick note before I get started with that. I'm going to show you, sometimes when dwarves get interrupted or something happens, there's something blocking the way, a job will get suspended. So I don't think I went over it, I quickly wanted to go over how to fix that. If you ever see anything like this where there's like a door or some kind of wall or something that hasn't been built after a long period of time, if you hit Q to do the little menu where you can go into the buildings and go near that that thing that hasn't been built, you can see it says construction suspended. So that'll happen if something traumatic happens, if there's an invasion or something like that, or if there's something blocking the dwarf from being able to complete the task. So in order to unsuspend it, you just hit S. See down here, suspend construction. It'll toggle between inactive and suspended. Inactive means that nothing's happening with that right now. It's not being built, but eventually somebody will come and build it. If it's inactive. Suspended means that they won't do it. You can also suspend things if you want to go ahead and build it. If you want to go ahead and have it built on the screen, but you don't want to actually have it there. If you want to set up a bunch of walls or something like that, but not actually have them built until you have some people freed up to be able to do it, then you can go ahead and build the walls and then suspend them all using this toggle. So just a quick note on that. So I usually build my hospital on the same floor as my troops, and a couple episodes ago, or maybe last episode, we built the barracks here for the archers and for the melee guys. I'm going to go ahead and build the hospital here. You're going to want to put some doors down to... Oh, we're almost out of doors. To close off the room. There's several things that you need in a hospital. You'll need beds, and you'll want to stagger the beds a little bit differently than you normally would in a barracks here. You'll need a bed, and then you'll need a table next to the bed. That helps with surgery, so surgeons will be able to use the table while they're doing the surgery. So you can also cordon off, you can make little rooms like a real hospital, but it doesn't necessarily matter that much. They don't really care whether they have their own room as long as they're being treated. So I'm laying out several beds and several tables. You'll also need traction benches, which are used in setting bones, I believe. It's one of the furnitures that you'll need. Now, you'll need to go into B for build, like I have been for... Well, I'm already in that menu. B for build, like I have been for the beds and tables. But this is going to be capital T. Oh no. What is it? Capital R. Capital T is the traps menu. Now, we don't have one right now, but the way to build one, it's the only other thing that you can build in the mechanisms workshop, mechanics workshop. So if we go back to our workshop floor here, hit Q to go into the menu for viewing the buildings, and if I can find it, here it is down here. Yeah, mechanics workshop. We need to A for add a new task, and capital R for make traction bench. You want maybe 4 of them, and in order to make a traction bench, you need a table and a mechanism. Those are the 2 things that you need. If you queue that up to be made, I don't even know if it lets you queue it, but you can't make it without having a table and a mechanism. So this is the 2 raw materials you'll need, even though a table isn't really raw material, and neither is a mechanism to do that. You'll also, I'll go ahead and leave that while they get that made. You'll also need some storage containers. It doesn't matter what type they are. So B for build, H for container. Makes sense, right? And you can use bags. It doesn't matter. You just need some. You really don't. I don't even know if you need more than one, but I like to have like 3 or 4. And okay. Well, right now we can go ahead and designate this as the hospital. Once we bring the bags and stuff, it'll be helpful as well. Yeah, they got the bags going on. So now, in order to set this up as an actual hospital, you don't select a thing and make a bedroom or whatever like you do for most rooms. This is actually a zone similar to your refuse pile. So you'll need to go into menu I for zone. Yeah, I stands for zone. Can't remember if it's useful to include the walls or not, but usually I just include the interior, I think. So you'll want to select it and then go to the other corner and select that. And it shows you right here how many spaces out of the selected area will be useful for whichever zone you choose it to be. So there are 0 water sources in here, 0 fishing sources, but you can have 121 out of these 121 selected tiles as a garbage dump if you choose it to be a garbage dump. Also a pen, meeting area, hospital. I've never really done the meeting area thing. I usually just set like a meeting hall, but maybe I'll mess around with that another time. Never thought of that. Animal training is also a new zone that I haven't messed with either, but I'll definitely mess with that before I talk about it so that I'm not completely unaware of what's going on when I'm doing it. Anyway, go ahead and select the second area, and then once you have the zone laid out, you can press one of these buttons to toggle it as that particular type of area. So we're going to want to toggle H for hospital. And once you have it toggled as a hospital, anytime you want to set the hospital information, you can go capital H. Now we can exit the zone menu and then go back in the zone menu I and set the hospital information. You can do that at any point. You don't have to do it right when you're setting up the room. So capital H, it'll tell you what, like, how many of each item that you have. We have 5 beds and 5 tables, so we're going to be able to do 5 surgeries simultaneously if we need to. We'll have 5 patients simultaneously as well. We don't have any traction benches yet. We have 4 boxes or bags, and these are the supplies that are set. You can says you can use these to toggle the amount of thread / cloth, all those different things that you need for the hospital. Those are the default amounts that get collected in here and saved for the hospital and not used for anything else. So this amount of thread, cloth, splints, crutches will automatically be brought into this room and stored in the storage containers that you set. So now let me see if they've made any of those traction benches yet. Yeah, there's a guy bringing stuff. So let's go see if we can build one. B, see, they're actually bringing stuff into these. Okay, they want us to do a trading session, so I'll be right back. I've already covered this, so I'm going to skip this and I'll be right back. Just a quick note while I was going through the trading thing. This particular type of material, gypsum plaster, you get from gypsum stone. You can make it from gypsum stone. I don't know if we have any gypsum on this map, but this is actually important for hospitals. The only use for this particular item, gypsum plaster, is making casts. So if you don't have any gypsum on your map that you can see, go ahead and grab some either gypsum stone or gypsum plaster from the trading menu whenever you're getting ready to set up all those supplies for your hospital. Otherwise you can't make any casts and it's harder to heal broken bones. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we finished setting up the supplies that we want to order from the mountain homes, and let's go ahead and keep going. See, they're bringing all these items in, and it automatically brings all the items that you have set for your hospital into the zone, into whatever containers that you have set up there. So now, what was that announcement? Okay, you also need a chain. That's my fault. So to make a traction bench, you also need a chain, a table, and a mechanism. So you're gonna have to get some chains, but I think we've already made one traction bench at least, so I think we can build that. So we can at least set one bone if we need to. Put that in this. Okay, we've got two of them. So, and I'm pretty sure that you don't need anything other than the traction bench to be able to use a traction bench. So you can go ahead and do that. Now, feel free to leave a comment or anything if there's anything else that you do for your particular hospital. And I'll maybe leave like an annotation or something so that people can see your suggestion. But I think that's basically all you need to have a successful hospital. You need to have it set up with this kind of setup. And I think that's about it for this video. Go ahead and, like I said, leave a comment if you have any suggestions on different parts of the game that you'd like to see me do. I'm going to keep doing this series until I run out of things to talk about, really. There's a new version of the game coming out pretty soon as well, so I might tack that onto the end of this, or I might do a whole new series since my first series has kind of bad audio. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe. It really helps me out. But until the next episode, my name is Paul Bo Brookins, and we will see you then.